Good morning, guys. So, if you know from yesterday, I ran out of water. So today I went driving around and I found a spigot. This is potable water. So we're gonna go fill up on some water and get going. Yeah, not having water sucks. Whoa, this thing's got pressure. Not being able to brush my teeth sucks. Not being able to make a cold drink in the morning. Oh my goodness. This thing's got flow. This is kind of scary, actually. Oh goodness gracious. Anyways, we're gonna fill up water and then we're gonna fill up water and then I'm gonna head to the ferry lineup because we're trying to get back to the big island, Vancouver Island, this morning. This thing is also kind of scary because when it fills up, water comes shooting out. So I gotta be quick and ready with this. I think it's coming out. Oh, we've got a squirter. Also, I've just realized I've been wearing the same sweater for the last 3 days. So let's go change that before we leave. All right, now that I'm in this ferry lineup and have water, I can make some tea. I'm also a little hungry, so I'm just gonna make some Texas toast as breakfast. Ooh, that was loud. But anyways, in this video, I wanna talk about the cost of living this lifestyle, living in your truck, living in a van. I don't know what to call it, but this is how much it cost me to live my life. So there's usually 3 reasons why people live in their trucks or a van. First is this is their only means in terms of this is what they have to do to survive. 2, they're trying to save money by not having to pay rent. And then 3, people like me who live this lifestyle so they can adventure and travel. So this is not an accurate depiction of how much it costs to live this lifestyle, but this is how much it costs me. So firstly, we're gonna talk about reoccurring costs. Because this truck and camper is paid off for, there's no reoccurring cost that comes with this truck other than insurance. And that cost me $170 a month. Next on the list is what everyone usually always asks me, how do you get internet? So there's 2 ways of getting internet. First is my phone, which I usually use in the city because it's a lot easier and it doesn't consume power like the Starlink. And for 170 gigabytes, it costs me $55 a month. And then secondly is my Starlink for when we're out of reception. And because I only have the 70 gig plan, this costs me $50 a month. So there's 3 things that I forgot to add to this list, and I'm just adding it now. First one is my storage. I keep all my belongings that I don't keep in my truck there. So I got like tools, my gear, and like sentimental goods. And that costs about $90 a month. And then showering. So I have a Planet Fitness membership. It's $30 and allows me to access any Planet Fitness gym in North America. So when I'm near the city, that's where I'm showering. But out here where there's no Planet Fitness, we usually go shower at either community centers or pretty much just any campground or places that have paid showers, and those range around $3 to $6, and sometimes those are free. But I generally shower, if it's free, I'm gonna shower every day, but if it's paid for, I shower about once every 2 to 3 days. So in total, I probably spent about $50 on showers on top of my gym membership. And then lastly is my propane. So this truck camper is heated by propane. Depending on how much I'm using my heat, I will spend it costs about 20 liters of propane every week and a half, 2 weeks. So realistically, I'm spending maybe $60 a month to heat this place up. Also, a reoccurring cost is disappointing my Asian parents, and that is priceless. Which brings our reoccurring cost to $505. Anyways, I think the ferry's about to leave, so we gotta get going. Now that we're on the ferry, we can talk about travel costs. And that comes in a few ways. It could either be flights, ferries, or fuel. I'm filling up from half a tank, so I'm curious how much this is going to cost. If you're just doing this van life thing while staying in one city for a prolonged period of time, it's not going to cost much. But if you're like me, who lives out of my truck to explore and travel, it's going to cost a little bit more than that. Actually, no, it's going to cost a lot more than that. Well, actually, it just depends on how much you drive. So this past summer, I did my dream trip, which was to drive from Vancouver all the way up to Alaska. And then after Alaska, drive all the way up to Tuktoyaktuk, which is the Arctic Ocean, the farthest north you can drive in Canada. In the 3 months that I was traveling, I think I drove around 20,000 kilometers. So I was averaging around $2,000 a month for gas, which was a crazy amount, and it really hurt my wallet. But now that I'm on Vancouver Island, which is not that big compared to the rest of the province, I'm not driving as much. I'm driving maybe 1 or 2 hours max a day. So I'm spending about $20 a day on average for gas. So that equals out to about $600. So this month I took 5 ferries, which is gonna add a lot to the cost. I traveled from Vancouver to Vancouver Island, and then just recently from Vancouver Island back to the coast and to one of the Gulf Islands and back. So in total, I spent about $295 on ferry fees this month. All right, what do we got? So we got the reoccurring cost, which is $505, $600 for gas, and then $295 for ferries. We're looking at $1,400. Anyways, it's getting a bit late, so I gotta go get some groceries before we head to camp tonight. So I just spent $102 at the grocery store, which is not too bad considering I'm also buying stuff like snacks, coffee, and my meals for the week. It also brings up another topic that I get asked a lot about, is that how much do I pay for camping, campgrounds, and I guess just for places to park my truck. But I'm gonna wait till I get to camp before I talk to you guys about that. Let's go. So I just got to camp and I am so hungry, so we're gonna eat some dinner. Make some dinner. Boom. I think for tonight I'm just gonna have like a steak, egg, and salad? Yeah, steak, eggs, and salad. That's what I'm eating tonight. Chicken like a Polaroid picture. Ew. Bam, dinner served. Once we're finished eating, we'll finish with the rest of the video. So the one thing with van lifers is that they're always trying to justify their van and the cost of their van. So when it comes to paying for campsites, we get slightly stingy about it. So tonight I'm actually staying at a BC rec site and this one cost $0. I absolutely refuse to spend money to park my truck and sleep in. There are some occasions where you just have to do it, or you just do it. Like there's one night where we got to a town so late and we couldn't find a place that didn't have a no overnight parking sign. So I just said, screw it, I'm gonna pay for a campsite, and that was 25 bucks. So in total for my last month, I only spent $25 for accommodations. So in total, last month, it costed me a grand total of about $1,800 to live. So now that I have my monthly cost nailed down, I just want to say that this doesn't include any of the luxury things that I spend on. So my mic broke a couple days ago and I had to buy another mic. So I just picked up this mic mini from Best Buy today and that was about 100 bucks. What else have I spent my money on? I did buy a generator 400 bucks off Marketplace. We almost forgot one thing. So vehicle maintenance, that is such an important thing when you're driving a vehicle, especially like mine, which is a 2000 Ford F350, and it's a big diesel truck. And during the summer, my drive up north really took a toll on my truck. And I spent $12,000 fixing it. Actually, no. So it's also like kind of my fault. Initially, my injectors went on my truck, and it could have been like a $2,000 fix, but I decided to do the bigger injectors, bigger turbos, changed out all the pipes, did the water pump. Everything was fine for like 15,000 kilometers. But because of my big tires, I have 37-inch tires, and the new turbo and tuner and all the mods I did on it, it really took a toll on my transmission. So after 15,000 kilometers, my transmission went, and luckily this was right after coming back from the Arctic Circle. My truck was still in Yukon, but at least it was in a major city. It was in Whitehorse where I could leave it and fly back for it. So that's what I did. I went back to Vancouver with Angela in her van, and when my truck was done, I flew back up to grab it. It was only like a $200 flight, so it wasn't too bad. But yeah, luckily this month I haven't spent any money on my truck really. So it has been a $0 month for my truck, which is really nice. Yeah, so this is roughly how much it costs to live my lifestyle. And I just want to say that you can do it a lot cheaper if you wanted to, but I do this and I'm fairly comfortable. For me, this price range is pretty decent. I think, what's the total now? $1,800. So what's my total this month? $1,800 plus the generator. Probably around like $2,500 with everything, but I'm realistically trying to get my monthly budget down to about $1,500 a month. That way when I go do work, I can work a month and then take 4 months off while still saving a bit of money. Anyways, that's pretty much it for this video. If you guys have any more topics you want me to talk about of my life, about my truck, my camper, how I make money, I'll probably make a video about how I make money. I don't know, the downsides, day in the life, I don't know. Whatever you guys want, just post it below and I'll make a video about it this month. Okay, I'm gonna go edit this video now because I agreed to make a video every single day of December. See you guys.